Dave is a very committed human being and has put their marriage and their lives and their sons a lot of times, sometimes ahead of his own interests. You know, he's been unselfish in many ways.
With David pitching in at home, Patricia Heaton got good reviews for her work in Women of the House, but the ratings were not great. And just like Room for Two, the show was canceled within a year. So Heaton was unemployed once again, but not for long. She didn't know it at the time, but the big break that would lead to stardom was just an audition away.
We had a girl first, and you get a very false sense of security when you change a girl's diaper. Because it's never, there's no danger, there's nothing pointed at you with a girl. Oh, when a boy diaper comes off, there's an infrared light on your head right there.
In 1996, a stand-up comic named Ray Romano was getting a television show of his own. It was a sitcom named Everybody Loves Raymond, featuring a wacky working-class family very much like Romano's own. The producers needed an actress to play Raymond's wife, Deborah, who somehow had to survive in this madhouse of a family.
You want everything in the role of the wife. She has to be smart, attractive, funny, vulnerable, tough, all these qualities.
Patricia Heaton figured that she could be all those things, so her agent got her an audition. She'd been in Hollywood for about 7 years, with some good work to her credit, but she still had to prove herself all over again.
You know, I was barely aware of her. I knew that she was on that other show, Room for Two, but I had never really watched it.
Meanwhile, Heaton had small boys at home, and the day of her tryout was total chaos.
I was in a huge hurry because my babysitter was taking college classes at the time and she needed to leave. I didn't really get a chance to go over the script very much. There were many women ahead of me waiting to go in. I begged them to let me go ahead. And it was probably the best audition I've ever given because I actually was a harried housewife, which is what I play on the show.
Patty Heaton came in and she just had everything that you could possibly want. And she was a great actress and attractive and funny.
Ray Romano will tell you there was another thing that won his vote.
The scene that all the actresses auditioned with was a scene that called for her, the wife, to kiss me hello. So she planted one right on the lips, and I wrote her a check right there. I don't know if that's the reason she got the job, but the next day I was there with a "We Want Patty" banner.
The part was hers. Once again, Patricia Heaton was the co-star of a network comedy series, and she played it for all it was worth. She could even be funny without saying a word.
Now it's a happy marriage.
And as she grew into the role of Deborah Barone, the biggest worry wasn't her performance. Everybody knew she was great. But whether the show could do what her other series couldn't, survive beyond its first year.
I mean, the risk was, uh-oh, here's one more show that isn't going to make it. Because it was on a Friday night, it was kind of a dead man zone, people weren't really watching it.
But it turned out that some people who counted did watch.
Right away, we got some good critical notices. So CBS was inclined to nurture us because, oh, here's a show that the critics seem to like. And then we got a shot about 2/3 of the way on our first season to go Monday nights after The Cosby Show. And our ratings doubled.
By its 5th season in the year 2000, Everybody Loves Raymond was a top 10 show. Still, the people who vote for Emmy Awards seem to be looking the other way. The show didn't have a single one. The star, Ray Romano, didn't even have one. But that year, Raymond got 9 nominations. One of them was Patricia Heaton for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Comedy Series.
It was very interesting that night at the Emmys because I don't think anybody expected Patricia Heaton to win.
Not when Jenna Elfman was also a nominee, and Sarah Jessica Parker, and Deborah Messing, and Jane Kaczmarek.
And the Emmy goes to Patricia Heaton. Everybody Loves Raymond. That's great. Thank you. Oh, that's so great.
And when she won, People sat back in their seats and said, of course she should have won. Now all of Hollywood started to pay attention to who is Patricia Heaton? Where has she been? How long has she been around? And how did she get that Emmy?
She was suddenly hot. Suddenly, after struggling for 2 decades to make it.
There's that cliche that says behind every overnight success there's 20 years of hard work. But oftentimes there really, truly is. And she's an example of that.
Patricia Heaton's time had arrived, and she was ready to really enjoy it. It was a long struggle for Patricia Heaton to make it as an actress, but she'd finally struck gold. By the year 2000, she was one of the most recognizable stars on television and winner of an Emmy Award for Best Actress in a Comedy Series. She was being compared to some of the greatest actresses who've ever been on television.
Audrey Meadows, Mary Tyler Moore, that's a good league to be in, don't you think? The Great Wives.
See, you can't go over there like this. You're gonna have a heart attack.
I don't care!
Whether she was sparring with Raymond or fending off her oppressive mother-in-law, her character, Deborah Barone, was at the heart of nearly every episode.
I am giving Raymond what he needs.
You're giving Raymond what you need. A sick little boy to take care of. Well, I don't need another little boy. And every time you come over here, Raymond takes another step backwards and I gotta wean him all over again. Well, I'm busy!
Obviously, the fans love her. And what I love about her is she doesn't take any crap from me. She will treat me like an idiot when I'm an idiot, and there's no, there's never any bad blood. It's like we're husband and wife without the sex, which is really like what husband and wife is like for me now.
And the year after she got her first Emmy, Patricia Heaton came right back and won another one.
I didn't prepare anything because I didn't think this was going to happen, so I just want to thank my wonderful cast and my kids, Sam, John, Joe, and Dan, my wonderful husband, David Hunt.
The ceremony in 2001 came just weeks after September 11th. And when she accepted the honor, her speech was about much more than winning an award.
I'm so happy to be, at this time in our country, a part of a show that brings some laughs into everybody's lives. And I just wanted to say to all the great men and women that are in the armed forces right now and their families who have let them go, to thanks for going out there and making this country a place where we can sit here and do this. And I just want to dedicate my performances this year to all those men and women and their families. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Heaton has also spoken out on controversial subjects. She's used her fame, for instance, as a platform to campaign against abortion.
We feel like everybody has the right to life. We believe it's in the Constitution.
It's not the sort of stance you usually hear from stars in Hollywood.
At the end of the day, I believe I have to answer to God for the actions in my life, the actions that I took and the actions that I didn't take. So that's scarier to me than somebody in the Hollywood community not liking me.
To say I don't care what people think it is uncommon in a way. But on the other hand, it's been said she makes $6 million a year. Well, she probably feels she's entitled to her opinion and is safe in expressing it. Money like that's a terrific cushion.
And she's also been outspoken about more trivial stuff, like the tummy tuck and breast lift that firmed her up after she finished giving birth to 4 boys.
It's kind of a reward. I have to tell you, I feel 100% better. You know, if anything, I probably look too fabulous to be playing Deborah or to be married to Ray.
Patricia loved to talk publicly about her plastic surgery and scoffed at other celebrities who kept theirs secret. In 2002, she made headlines with comments she made on a late-night TV show.
Patricia Heaton's timing was a little bad in that she showed up on Letterman and talked about, these actresses on these magazine covers. Well, that month, Michelle Pfeiffer happened to be on a magazine cover, and the article did state she has not had anything done. So people started putting 2 and 2 together, and suddenly it seemed Patricia was taking aim at Michelle Pfeiffer. so we in the press, we had a little fun with that. We covered it for all it was worth.
Heaton reportedly later called Pfeiffer to apologize. And there were still more headlines in January 2003. Patricia Heaton was supposed to introduce a segment at the American Music Awards, but instead she walked out, reportedly offended when the Osbourne family told jokes on the show that were raunchier than she'd bargained for. The incident made Heaton the butt of late-night comedians, but supporters said that was just Patricia being Patricia.
I did cover it for People magazine's website, and I got email from readers, and the general consensus was not in her favor. And they thought, who does she think she is? And this woman should just get a life.
Whatever the public thought, her protest was consistent with what Heaton has to say about morality.
You have to look at the consequences of what you're putting out into the world, whether it's in your relationships or your work. I mean, especially I think in our business, we put a lot out into the world. And I don't know, some of it, I don't know how it benefits anyone.
Patricia's stands are unusual for Hollywood. In a town where people obsessively chase fame, where she worked for years to achieve it herself, Patricia Heaton says if her career ever dries up, she will walk away with no regrets. But don't expect her to disappear anytime soon. Unlike some actresses who reach their 40s and then fade away, people who respect her say that Patricia Heaton has staying power.
She may be in her 40s, but she doesn't look it. She's going to be able to be 40 for about 15 years, so she has plenty of time to have longevity in her career.
She has all the qualities that make her a great actress, and she'll only get better as an actress because she's smart, and that will keep her in good stead, I think, with the audience.
Patricia Heaton is one of the backbones of a very successful sitcom. She's just so pleasant to watch. She's sort of the normal one in characters who are larger than life, and she holds her own, just to be admired.
It's super hot.
On screen, as a tough, independent wife and mother, Patricia Heaton stood her ground against Ray Romano. Off screen, though, she has been known to hold her own in the political spotlight, putting herself at the forefront of controversial topics. Heaton's advocacy became particularly visible in 2005 during the much-debated case of Terri Schiavo. She spoke out in favor of Ms. Schiavo being kept on life support. The actress also acts as honorary chair for Feminists for Life, a nonpartisan organization which opposes abortions and embryonic stem cell research. Heaton has also brought politics to the big screen, playing a former U.S. ambassador to Yemen, Barbara Bodine, in the 2006 ABC docudrama The Path to 9/11. Heaton returned to the sitcom world in 2007, co-starring with Kelsey Grammer in Back to You. The series was canceled after one season. The following year, Heaton bounced back to star in another sitcom called The Middle. Patricia Heaton's feisty personality and natural talent continue to make her one of television's most sought-after stars.